Hello and welcome everybody to this iteration of Z Talk. My name is Henry Zaldivar from IT Savvy. In case you guys don't know me, you should know me by now and my famous hat. So we'll tell you the story about that one in some other time. Today I have Ryan Resendez. I hope I pronounced your last name right.
Yep.
He's a channel account manager from Legrand, and Legrand's a pretty large company that kind of plays in many markets, but Ryan's going to give you an overview of the company, perhaps some of those markets where they are, currently in. And also, as it relates to us in IT, probably focus more around data center. So I don't want to steal Ryan's thunder. He's been preparing for this. So Ryan, my friend, it's all yours. And I look forward to hearing all you got to talk about today.
Thanks, Henry. So yeah, Ryan Resendez, channel manager for Legrand. Legrand's a big global company based out of France. Most of you guys might have seen the logo or the name if you walk through a big box store, hardware store. We're actually the global leaders in sockets and switches. So if you looked around your house, you might look at a switch or a socket, you might see Legrand. That's probably where we're known for, and pun intended, keeps the lights on. But our company's evolved over the years as lighting and power needs have evolved as well. So to include a bunch of other different divisions as well. So we have an AV division, we have a commercial lighting division, we have a commercial shading and building management division, and then last but not least, we have a data center division. And really the idea from Legrand's perspective over the years were to evolve more into that data center space and to become the global leaders from the data center all the way down into the desktop space. So today I'm going to be talking to you about a couple different products from our data center division that I focus on, our PDU and KVM product.
All right. Can't wait to hear. So, I want to hear about those PDUs. So let's start it there, and then we'll move over to KVM. So
yeah, sure.
Keep it going, Ryan. You're doing good.
Yeah, no problem. So PDUs are great. They're actually called power distribution units for anybody that's not as familiar with it. And really, the basic premise of a PDU is if you're in your house and you have that outlet that you need additional outlets for, you would typically get a plug strip, maybe behind your TV or your office space. You'd buy a plug strip that allows you to have multiple outlets from one outlet. That's the basic level of what a PDU or a power distribution unit is. Obviously, our PDUs are built more for the enterprise space, the commercial space within the data center. So there's going to be a lot more outlets and a lot more benefits and features to be able to control the heat and other additional needs than a traditional residential space. But the most important piece that makes us different than a power strip that I just talked about is our intelligent capabilities. It allows the customer to provide remote access into their cabinets, which is very critical nowadays with the ability of everybody needing to stay at home and staying away from the data center space or social spaces.
Is that what they refer to as that out-of-band management?
No, that's more for the KVM side.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So when you look at
for
PDUs,
KVM conversation, right?
Yeah, and we'll get to that. But with the PDUs, there's really two sides to the story. There's an intelligent PDU and then a non-intelligent PDU. It's really that simple, and it comes down to what you can see from a remote application compared to being physically on site. So if you are within a data center space and you have a PDU in the back of your cabinet, if you have a non-intelligent PDU, you can literally walk up to it, make sure that it's plugged in, and look at your device and make sure that it's working properly. That's really the extent of what a non-intelligent PDU can provide you. If you want to know what the power is being drawn on it, or if it's actually being active and working from a remote capability, that's when you need an intelligent PDU.
Awesome. Okay.
Yep. And there's other important key features that the customer needs, like monitoring capabilities, being able to turn on a device remotely and be able to reboot it. So sometimes you might have flickering within your device. The device might be moving slow. You might start seeing a power pack within a device start to waver from a power consumption point. That allows you to proactively go in and fix that product, during downtime instead of during peak time, where you might lose that device, and then critically it may cost you a lot of money when it's not working properly. So there's a lot of other key features, not just from the ability to plug in many outlets or many devices from one cabinet into one power source. Additional key features that we have that differentiates us from our competition is our alternating phase technology, which allows the customer to be able to not have to worry about the different phases. So if you're talking about three-phase power, which is much more complex type of power solution, it allows you to alternate the phase right at the outlet level, so you don't have to sit there and trial and error and make sure you're not overloading one phase and then underloading another phase. It allows you to do it right from the outlet level. And then the other key feature we have is a combination CX outlet, which allows you to have a C13 outlet or a C19 outlet all in the same outlet. And that provides the customer complete flexibility, whether they have a current solution today or whether they need to upgrade or downgrade later down the road. They don't have to change out their physical hardware. So a lot of key features, not just from the PDU alone, but what it can do to save them money today and then also in the future.
Awesome. So that's a great overview there of PDUs. I think everybody in IT, especially those in that technical side of the house, will appreciate those differences. And again, I'll offer to those that are viewing, if you want to find out more about the PDUs, reach out to me. I'll set up a call with Ryan and or one of his team members, and we'll answer your questions and go through whatever design you guys want to put together for your data center. So so the next, are you done with the PDUs so we can move into my most exciting part of this?
Absolutely.
KVM. So I can't wait to hear. So talk to us, Ryan, about the KVM solution. I see 3 of them here on your website: a KVM over IP, a serial console server, and secure KVM are the 3 that I'm looking at. So
yep,
it's yours again.
Yeah, so KVM really, overall view is it enables users to be able to access and control multiple computer devices from a single keyboard, video, and mouse. That's where KVM comes from: keyboard, video, and mouse. And that includes anything like you mentioned. It could be a server, a PC, a workstation, a tablet. That's all the KVM over IP. It could be a switch device from the serial side. It could be a Cisco or a Juniper device, for example, on that side. There's many different applications and needs, but the overall premise is allowing a customer to be able to access these devices remotely, to be able to work on them, use them, reboot them, refresh them, whatever it may be needed at that time. And anybody using those and managing multiple computer devices over a short or long distance can benefit from KVM capabilities. So it ranges anywhere from an engineer, for example, that might be switching between multiple computers. It might be someone like an IT administrator or a network admin maintaining thousands of servers over multiple sites throughout the globe. It could be any one of those different scenarios. It could be lab technicians that have to handle multiple devices, and maybe in less than ideal situations or environments. So there's many different needs inside the data center and outside the data center within KVM. Some of the key benefits which makes us different and makes us the global leader within the KVM space: increased productivity. It reduces travel time and social gathering. Again, with the situation that we're in today, KVM has been very, very important for people within the data center space or people that need to be able to access devices remotely. It's platform agnostic, which is extremely huge. So a lot of the Dell servers, for example, the Cisco switches, they might have a KVM or remote capability built into their product. However, it's very limited. And then if you're using multiple platforms, that's when it really becomes cumbersome to use. Ours provides an agnostic approach to make sure that you can use all those pieces all together. Reduces the mean time for repair. That's always a key piece when discussing with customers about KVM. It's not only the product that they're spending the money on, but it's also all the operations expense on the back end, which is extremely important. Out-of-band access, which is what you talked about earlier, Henry. That's the most important piece. It really provides a secondary or even a third source of for key critical people to be able to access that equipment, even when the corporate network may be down. So just to give a quick overview, you have typically your corporate network that everybody's on, and then you'll have an out-of-band, a secondary network that's allowed for the data center team to be able to manage and monitor all this equipment. And then there's also potentially a third capability, and that might be cellular. It might be any other type of additional source to be able to remotely access this equipment, because if something goes down during a critical juncture, it could be very detrimental to any large corporation. And then the last two key features is military grade security. It's the highest security, which is extremely important when you're talking remote capabilities. And then it's Java free, which any person that's dealt with KVM in the past and they've dealt with Java know the benefits of having it be Java free. So it's one of the key beneficial pieces of our product that people relate to and really like.
Well, that's good. And I am familiar with out of band, and some customers have asked, especially these days where we're all working from home and this whole COVID world that we're in. I've been getting asked about what can I help them with to be able to access their data center remotely, but not just remotely. It's when that internet goes down or something, because remember, now they're working from home and they don't have a T1 and they don't have a fully meshed network. They have what you and I have, right? A DSL.
Right.
So you're running from that, and DSL has no SLA. So many times, those go down, but they're able to, like what you said, through cellular technology, get back into that network and continue to monitor. In a data center, that's obviously it's got. So you're in a bunker. You have power, internet. So it's highly unlikely that any of that is going to fail from a power perspective. It could fail from an internet, but still they have so much redundancy built in, and even the networks are all meshed that it's highly unlikely you would lose anything at the data center. The concern has always come from where they're at, working from home and still be charged with monitoring the environment and managing the infrastructure, and then have your own internet go down. Say, shoot, how do I get around? How do I just lost visibility to my network, and now with the out of band, that's what I've been getting asked a lot this year, and I'm sure into next year it'll just increase. But that's one product that of your many in your portfolio, that's one product that I'm going to be focusing on here in the next couple months.
Yeah, you hit a really important topic, which is redundancy, and that spans both of our product sets. Most people think of redundancy when they think in the data center of power, cooling, devices, for example. They want to have that redundancy in case something goes down. They're able to shift that power consumption, for example, or the actual physical equipment over to another device. Keep everything up and running, make it seamless for the consumer, the customer, for the employees. What people don't realize that redundancy also includes the ability for your coworkers, for your data center team to be able to access that equipment. So that's what KVM is really providing, is an additional redundancy to make sure you have as many multiple options to be able to access, control, and manage your devices wherever they may be in the globe. So, typically before KVM, your options were you had someone close to a site, you had someone drive or fly a very long distance to fix a site, or you paid someone from a third party maybe that was very expensive to go in and fix that potential problem. This eliminates all those problems. Someone can support all your devices from anywhere in the country, anywhere in the globe, really. So you can have 24 access and support depending on how you build out your team. So there's really a lot of beneficial features for KVM that increases your redundancy to make sure you protect your investment.
Awesome.
And then furthermore, one thing I did want to add about KVM is, we talked a lot right there about data centers. The best thing about KVM, it really spans outside the data center world. It's really for any application that has a remote capability. We see, or really a multi-platform, multi-device platform. We see many needs, television stations, for example, labs, remote offices, satellite campuses for universities or big counties, for example, retail stores, kiosks, any type of remote feature nowadays has power consumption, has technology built into it nowadays. And from there, they need that remote access to be able to manage it and control it. You just think of a retail store, for example, the one or two cabinets that they have in there, all the power that they're consuming, they're taking care of the retail point of sales devices. if those go down, they're out of they're not generating business at that point. So being able to you know, and you don't want someone potentially in the store to manage and take care of that and try to troubleshoot the issue, right? So allowing your data center technicians, your network admins, people that control and monitor it, they're critical to be able to go in there and handle that stuff as quick as possible.
Well, this is awesome. Obviously, you know, today we learned from Legrand, you know, your PDU solutions and your KVMs. You probably could spend another hour here talking about all the other products you guys have for data centers. So thank you, Ryan, again for coming on this show, and thank you for supporting IT Savvy and our efforts to help bring Legrand to the market. And for those of you watching Z Talk, thank you for supporting my show, and I hope you like this episode. If you have any interest to talk more about Legrand, KVM, PDUs, and if you go to the website, other products, they have cabinets and you know, sensors, smart locks, smart rack controllers, etc. So they have a full breadth of product. We just covered 2 today to kind of keep it short and sweet, but there's a lot there that Legrand can offer, you know, your company in the data center. So if you have any interest, want any more, or needed any information, or want to talk more to me and Ryan about all the solutions and how we can find a good fit for what you're looking for, just reach out to me. My information will be on my LinkedIn and on my YouTube, so you'll see that shortly. Again, Ryan, thank you for coming on the show today, and to my viewers, thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.